Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, the day has came. Steve Retzer, it's Steve Retzer Day here.
Yeah.
Shador Sanders, the savior
Shador,
of the Cleveland Browns. I dedicate this podcast to Steve Retzer because this is Steve Retzer's guy.
Yes.
This is my guy.
This is it. This is the Steve. Steve,
Sam.
we will have one of the servers here come get you a cocktail. Oh, Dave, go to the fridge and get it yourself.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Go outside.
Sorry.
Go outside and grab a bottle of water.
Yeah, go-
We call it the redneck refrigerator.
I know. By the way, there's been some comments made. I put the water outside on the
Yes.
porch where it's cold.
Right.
Is that a Canton thing?
Yeah, it's some kind
Apparently.
of thing. I don't know what kind of thing.
I don't know. Anyways, but we're going to get right into it here, guys. We got a big matchup today. The Cleveland Browns take on the Raiders.
Yep.
And we are this has been the game that everybody's been kind of wanting to see. Shador Sanders will make his starting debut. He did play the last game, but he came in a backup role. We know he didn't get first-team reps, and now he's got to have time to prepare. So we will get right into it, and we will turn to Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, this is the segment you've been kind of waiting for here,
That's
buddy.
right.
This is it.
The game you've
The
been
game,
waiting.
this is
right,
it.
boys.
Here we go, Steve.
Let the magic begin. Shador gets his first start against the Raiders. Both teams go into the game 2-8. It'd be better for both teams to actually lose this game for draft status. But
That's true.
someone's going to come out with the win. Shador will be the 42nd quarterback to start for the Browns since 1999.
Is that amazing?
God, that list is just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it, guys?
It's amazing.
Shador will be the 18th quarterback to make his first career start for the Browns since '99. Speaking of the Raiders, rookie quarterback in 2018, Baker Mayfield was the last rookie quarterback to start and against the Raiders, and they lost 45-42. So we'll see what happens today for Shador and the Browns. This may be the most watched game of the day. There's some good games today, guys, but the world wants to see Shador.
Yes, I think that we all want to see, with this, establishing what we've talked about since the start of the season, guys, that this is an R&D year, that this season was all about seeing the rookies, and in particular seeing the quarterbacks. I think this has basically been the natural progression of what I thought. You know, we'd see Flacco early. We'd see Brent's guy Dillon. We had a sample size of that, you know, and... Yeah, mostly not so good with Dillon, and now we've moved on to Shador. This is the last part of the season. I was asked, what's there to watch for the season? This is probably it.
Well, they actually wanted to redshirt Shador, guys.
I heard that.
That's what Stefanski wanted to do. And I knew that Shador would have his opportunity because what did I say before the season started? You guys agreed. Browns quarterbacks get injured.
Yeah.
So because Dylan Gabriel got a concussion is the reason.
Sure.
Shador's
Guys, that alarms me. Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, I get it.
Why would they do that? I don't get that. The red
He would
shirt
have not
thing.
been playing yet.
Well, I think that, here's the thing. I think eventually Dillon's limitations would have continued to have shown, and I think if he would have had a clunker, like if he would have had another Patriots third quarter, 2 interceptions, I think things would have hit the wall, and I think that, Steve talked about it before, I do think the call would have come from above.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I think the call would have come from above eventually. Now, would it have taken a couple more games? Yes. But I think that Dillon, because of his limitations, it would have eventually shown, possibly turnovers, and then I think Stefanski's hand would have been forced. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Well, a few things. You know, let's go back to the beginning here with Flacco.
Yep.
You know, I am starting to think now that the Browns did make the right decision by moving off of Joe Flacco, because you know what? You got to see what your future is. You just do. So even though we traded Flacco and we both said he had some gas in the tank,
right?
Hey, you had to see what you got,
boys,
right?
It is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You guys remember Leroy Horde?
Running
back
back
for the
for the Browns, yeah.
I really liked him.
Yeah,
he
that's
actually quoted, he said, trading Joe Flacco was a big mistake because you need a veteran to teach these young guys.
Well, that's
so
true.
It could go either way.
See,
that's
it
true.
Was
but
a way for Shador to play, so that's why I like the trade. But I agree with Leroy a little bit.
I was listening to maybe the same show Steve was listening to. They actually had ex-NFL quarterback Sean King, he of the Tampa Bay. he made the case the other way, that they should have been starting Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders since the start of the season.
And then do an alternate.
And give them, one a certain amount of games, give the other a certain amount of games, and base off those sample sizes what kind of quarterback you see which one can outperform the other. Now, I would say this. We have seen this in the past with other teams. I would say last year in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins started the season. You saw Michael Penix at the end. Your second favorite team or whatever it is right now, Steve, the Patriots. Drake May did not start the season last year in New England. Remember, it was Jacoby Brissett early on, and Drake May came in later in the year. And you saw a sample size of games that I think gave a lot of people some confidence. May played well in some of that games. And I think that's what gave people some confidence about him and the Patriots maybe coming into this season. I know it did for you, Steve. There have been test cases on this before. That's basically what I was trying to illustrate.
Yeah. But then we get to the next thing, and that would be the Dylan Gabriel thing.
Yeah.
And I actually feel that I think it's went as scheduled. They played Dylan Gabriel the right amount of games. Now, what does concern me was they weren't going to pull Dylan Gabriel. They were not going to pull him, but that injury kind of forced their hand.
No.
But that does concern me about what he said, though, about the red shirt thing. What are we waiting for? We need to see Shedeur, and I'm glad we are seeing him, but we're not seeing him because organically. It's just stupid to me. It's like, what are we doing? I mean, anyways, continue.
All right, guys.
Steve.
Well, Shedeur's dad, Dion, his advice to his son was relax, take your time, and play your game. Mm-hmm. Just relax and do what you've been done your whole life. He said, get completions, use your checkdowns, and don't try to be more than you are.
Yep.
Shedeur's like a big little kid. My advice is just go out there and have fun, man. Go win the game.
Something to watch real quick. Early in this game, does Tommy Rees, and you'll see this with coaches, and sharp offensive coaches usually do this, they scheme up a few easy throws for the quarterback. Early on, it's like a wide receiver screen, something really short to give him, throw a couple of those early in the game to give him a couple easy completions to get him some confidence. Exactly. That'll be something to watch, I think, early in this one, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, his teammates will be behind him. Myles Garrett has been a big supporter of Shedeur, and I think the defense will play for him. Like you just said, Dave, I'm glad Tommy Rees is calling the plays, and not Stefanski. But get this, we don't want to get in real heavily, but Dylan Gabriel is already back to practice. So I think even if Shedeur does good, Stefanski will bring Dylan back, which I disagree with.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappi was brought up from the practice squad and is the backup to Shedeur today. Hopefully Shedeur stays healthy and plays the whole game, though I don't want to see Zappi. We've seen what we need to see out of him.
Right.
But you got to have a backup.
Well, there's one other quarterback to keep in mind for before the end of the season, right?
Oh, yeah, DW4.
Yeah, there you go.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, boy. Yeah, once that happens,
I'm not ready to put my hand on that stove again.
Yeah, the wheels we're really
the wheels have come off the wagon.
Yeah, that's Anyways, continue, Steve.
As Dave has always said, and I agree with this, a rookie's quarterback's best friend can not only be his offensive line, but his running back.
Yep.
Everyone is expecting Quinshad Judkins to run 25 times or more, maybe even more in this game. Really help him out.
Agreed.
Don't make Shedeur try and do too much. Shedeur is accurate. He can throw into tight windows, and he showed with the throw to Lavardane and in the preseason against Carolina. I understand that he holds on to the ball too much, and he drifts backwards.
Yep.
But I do think this was addressed with a full week of practice. You may see it a little bit. I don't think you're going to see it majorly like you did in the Ravens game.
Yeah.
The Browns away record is 0-5, and their last road victory was week 2 of 2024. Doesn't that seem like a long time ago, guys?
Yeah.
Jeez, they can't win on the road.
Steve, real quick, I don't know if you're going to address this in your in your segment, but I did find out that they have not won in L.A. or Oakland or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been quite some time. What year was that, guys, when they did it? 2012?
Yeah, 2012 was the last time that the Browns won a game at the Raiders.
Well, I'll say this: they lost
because the Raiders are at Oakland, Los Angeles. They change their
They change it every other. They change it every other year.
So to say at the Raiders, And the last time they won a home game was 2014.
Remember last year, Steve, was really bad because like the Raiders were without like Crosby, Devontae Adams, like they were without like a few of their
all their major guys
who were out, and we still lost. Yeah,
it was in Watson.
So that was like a very, very. That was
I expected Watson to have like a breakout game in that one, and man, he couldn't even do that.
Right. That's when we were kind of hitting rock bottom with Deshaun Watson last year.
Yeah. With Judkins running the ball. I'd like to see the Browns run some play action and throw long to my boy Cedric Tillman.
Here we go.
He will catch it if it comes his way.
Your boy.
I'm curious to see if Shador and Jerry Jeudy can find a connection. Mm-hmm. They had one nice play in the Ravens game in which Jeudy caught the ball and he juked the guy and got a first down.
He did a good job of running after the catch. I remember the play you're talking about.
Yep. His best throw was to Harold Fannin Jr., so expect that connection to be there. Mm-hmm. I'd also like to see David Njoku get involved a little bit. Mm-hmm. As far as the injury report is concerned, the Raiders go into the game with full health. For the Browns, besides Dylan Gabriel, Jamari Thrash is out, and our boy Alex Wright is out. And guess who else? Jack Conklin. Questionable knee injury. That poor man. I mean,
I heard questionable on that. I wonder if he's going to be out. You know, but we remember we've gone back and forth with questionable.
It's like flip a coin.
Yeah, exactly,
and that really is.
That position is going to be interesting because one of those tackles are going to have to block their best defensive player, which is Crosby. So that's going to be big.
Yeah, some people are kind of joking, like on Facebook. I was reading and stuff. Alex Wright just got a contract extension. I think it's strange to sign these extensions during the season. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he gets hurt and then he gets a promotion." You know, no, he really is a good guy. And to see him the opposite side of Myles Garrett, you may see that for a few years to come, guys.
Yep.
I do like Isaiah McGuire, so I'd like to see him play well with Wright's absence. I would expect another huge game for Garrett, especially to help Shador in his first start. Schlesinger and Devin Bush should have good games. I'm watching for the secondary in this one for Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell, and of course safety Grant Delpit to make some plays because, you know, on the other side, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I'm a big Geno guy.
He
throws interceptions.
To be
fair,
like
those guys to take advantage
of that. Let's show Steve some love. Let's show Steve some love here. You called out Geno in the preseason.
I did.
Steve, by the way, I had before this podcast, I did have some good Geno pizza rolls.
There we go.
And I'll tell you, they're really good. Anyways, continue.
I believe the Browns can stop the Raiders' run game, but they need to stop Geno Smith in the pass game. I told you guys Geno Smith was going to be bad, and no one believed me.
Well, I just thought, you know, for the Raiders' sake, though, here's all I said. I thought he would, and I set the bar very low because our quarterback play last year with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell was even worse. So I said it would be a slight upgrade over that. I didn't think I was setting the bar to say Geno could be better than Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, but it hasn't been. So, yeah. I hear you, Steve.
Well, the Raiders played the Cowboys last week, and they stopped Ashton Jenney. He was sold to 7 yards rushing, and I think the Browns can hold him. He'll probably have more yards than that, but I think the Browns are going to hold him.
Yeah.
The Raiders do have Trey Tucker, an old man, Tyler Lockett. Remember him, guys? An old
Seattle
receiver.
Yeah.
So they do have some decent receivers. Their best player, of course, is their tight end, Brock Bowers.
He's awesome.
Got to watch out for him. Defensively, the Browns have to watch out for Max Crosby, of course. This guy's a beast. He can get to the quarterback, and Shador needs to watch his back. And hopefully the offensive line does that as well for the Browns. You know, cover him well because he'll be rushing in there, guys, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really good linebacker in Devin White.
Yep.
I liked him when he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and he was a star for Tampa.
A big part of that defense in 2020 that won the Super Bowl. Yep.
My dear friend and customer, Sue, said she thinks the Browns players could be out partying in the wild Las Vegas. She said that Saturday night she came to pick up some food.
Brett, I believe what happens in Vegas.
It stays in Vegas, right?
Stays in Vegas.
They might be out, out on the town. And
Brett, you wouldn't know anything about
it. I've lived a good Christian life. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, I'm just letting you know. I mind my P's and Q's and I eat vitamins and go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Charlie Sheen before there was Charlie Sheen.
Okay, anyway, there you go.
Reckon I think you do, Brent.
Oh, God.
Well, anyway, let's hope not. Let's hope they're not out partying. I think the Browns have a legitimate shot in this one. The last time the Browns won at the Raiders, like I said, was 2012, and but all streaks come to an end.
Okay.
So, boys, I have the Browns winning 2017 in a tight one.
Nice.
Shador is just a winner, and I think he can lead the Browns to a victory. Could this be the start of seeing possibly our future franchise quarterback in action?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well
Here we
said,
go, Steve.
Well said, Steve. And we will get over to Mr. Dave Greenshield. And Dave, this is the day here. You know,
Yeah,
the big Shador debut. What do you have for this matchup? Give us an insight.
Yeah, Brent, let's start the Shador era. This is the start of the Shador era.
Yeah.
The fifth-round rookie quarterback Shador will make his first career start. Much has been said about Sanders' chances in this game, as he has had his first 3 days of practice with the starters. Steve has talked about this. It's time for him to get his work with the starters. In Sanders' first half of action, that second half of action, I should say, against the Ravens last week, he did revert to his bad habits that produced the 4 of 16 passing with that ugly stat line. He had an interception as well. It comes back to the things that we talked about. He needs to get rid of the ball quicker, stop breaking from the pocket. You know, the run backwards thing has got to go. And he just has to throw the ball away when necessary. See, that's the other thing. I think that's why he breaks from the pocket too quick, and there are opportunities where he can just throw the ball into this.
He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it because he plays hero ball in Colorado.
Yes.
And he continues to do it in the pros, and he's got to break two habits.
Yes.
Throw the ball away when he needs to,
Yes.
and he's got to stop doing the backwards thing.
Yeah, a lot of things that work in a Big 12 don't work in the NFL.
And guess what I said?
Yes.
If you remember in the last cast, Thursday, I think it was the Thursday cast, what did I say? Those two things are not easy to break.
Yeah.
Because that's muscle memory.
Well, yeah.
I said that.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing. And this is where offensive coordinator Tommy Rees comes into play. As I said, I think he needs to scheme up some throws for Shador Sanders, give him like a couple wide receiver screens, maybe like a shallow cross, some stick routes.
Yeah, you're right though.
You know,
the scheme and the play calling.
Yes.
Well, you need to do that so he doesn't do these bad habit situations.
Right. And then work short to long. Then eventually let him take some chances down the field vertically, which we saw a little bit of last week. Again, we saw a little bit of that against the Ravens. It's interesting to see how aggressive they're going to be this week with the game plan. The Browns have the 31st rated pass offense, and it needs a jolt. It'll be interesting to see if this week with the first team reps, what kind of chemistry he can develop with these wide receivers. Again, the Browns rank third in the NFL with drop passes at 20 as a team. It would be nice to see Mr. Jerry Jeudy start to do something, start to make some plays. He's had problems with drop passes all season. We've talked about it in reviews of other games. He has been targeted a combined 19 times the last 2 weeks. So they are trying to get him the ball in this offense. Remember, he had his best game against the Jets a couple weeks ago. So it will be interesting if he can develop some rapport with him in the passing game. The other key, Steve mentioned to it, I'm going to say it, Quinshon Judkins in the run game. It's got to get going. 17 carries for 59 yards last week against the Ravens. Steve, what are you thinking? At least 20 this week?
I said 25, man.
Okay.
If you can.
I'm for that. I'm for that. You want to mix this, and again, we're back to Reeds. That nice blend of run pass. How they establish that in this game is going to be very interesting. The Raiders have the 15th ranked rush defense. Again, watch out for veteran linebacker Devin White leading the team with 97 tackles. Everybody knows about defensive end Max Crosby. He's going to be hunting the fifth-round quarterback. Again, he has that tendency to drift in the pocket. That's going to be interesting. The Browns will present a challenge for Sanders, and the even bigger challenge for the Browns in this one will be those offensive tackles. If Conklin is out and Cam Robinson, how do they hold up in pass pro against Crosby is going to be a big key. I would say Crosby's production has been down a little bit. 6 sacks this season. He had some injuries last year. He had those 2 huge seasons in 22 and 23 when he had 12 and a half and 14 and a half sacks. I think he's not like on the Miles level, Steve. He's more on like that Hendrickson, middle tier, like right underneath that.
He's pretty good. I think he's just getting better, actually. And you could watch out for this. They might have Jerome Ford in the backfield to block.
Chip out on him.
Yeah, because if the lineman can't block him, then have Ford or someone, right, Dave?
Well, they're going to need to. These tackles have struggled in pass pro.
Yes.
So we've seen it these past few weeks. Overall, it'll be interesting to see what Shador will be able to do and how much support he gets from the run game in this one. and the wide receivers and the O-line. So, again, we're back to the supporting cast around the quarterback. Can the receivers make plays? Again, do they utilize the tight ends? How much are the tight ends utilized in this offense? Again, Shedeur is inheriting the same supporting cast that Dylan Gabriel had. That's what gives me some pause here. To be fair to Shedeur. But you're a young quarterback. You're not always going to step into the most ideal situation.
Now, Dave, I like my tight ends.
Yes.
Trust me, I do.
Right.
But you got to have receivers involved. You can't just rely on tight ends like Dylan Gabriel did. And, You know what I mean? So if you can get Judy involved and then, I love him. Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
Target him.
Yeah. I think you have to try and get him involved in the passing game as well. On the other side of the ball, I did want to touch on that. This is not one of the more formidable Browns offenses. One of the more formidable offenses the Browns will have faced this season. You talk about an offense that's got some problems. This is the 25th rated pass offense, the 30th rated run offense, and the 30th rated scoring offense. So you think we got problems offensively, guys? Take a look at the Raiders, by the way. I thought they'd actually be a little bit better offensively. Like I said, I thought Geno would just be a slight upgrade over the Drek that they had a year ago.
We both thought Jenny was going to play better.
We thought Jenny would have a very good year.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put a lot of that on the offensive line. We'll get to that in a second. The problems with both teams they've had kind of mirror each other. The Raiders, it starts with quarterback being the main culprit, Steve's guy, Geno. the change has not worked out for Geno. He's got the 31st rated QBR at 32.4, which has been ugly this year. And he's thrown the 13 picks. It's interesting, Steve. He did have a great 2022 in Seattle. I think they made the playoffs that year. He threw for 4,200 yards and 30 touchdown passes that season. That was like his high watermark.
He was with Pete Carroll, right?
Yeah, with Carroll. Go ahead.
I'm going to get into this when I talk about it later.
Sure.
Guys, I kind of see this game. I think this West Coast stuff is just for real. It's the West Coast bugaboo. They're just not very good. I remember they played the Rams back when Flacco was playing a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and the Rams just got them. They smoke. They just don't do good in the West Coast. I think it continues, but I just want to throw that in there because I know we're getting our hopes up, but God, that West Coast thing just keeps bugging me. It just does.
We've not had a whole lot of good trips out there. I hear you.
I just think it's a thing. I do.
If there's one opponent you want to face on the West Coast,
this is one.
This team. Okay.
But didn't they play them last year and they lost?
No, I just mentioned that.
That
was like a low point of the Sean Watson era.
I'm just saying. Okay, continue.
Okay. Well, he did throw 15 picks last year, Geno, so maybe this was a sign of things to come for him this season. So he wasn't exactly taking care of the football last year in Seattle. Again, maybe it would have been a sign of things to come. He's not gotten a lot of help from his supporting cast as well. This, again, has been one of the worst offensive lines. We think we've got it bad. They've not exactly been able to run the ball with Genty this year, only averaging 3.7 yards per carry. I think the main culprit of that, Steve, by the way, isn't Genty. It's the offensive line not opening up holes. The Browns' run defense has been solid. By the way, 14th against the run. We were a lot better earlier in the year.
We were top 5.
Exactly. Top 2 or 3, actually, I believe. Yeah. Carson Schlesinger is having a great year, our candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year, I believe, Steve.
That's right.
The Raiders' offense, again, it's 30th, only 81.4 yards per game. Genty's been struggling, as I mentioned, the 3.7 yards, and one of the worst run-blocking offensive lines in the NFL. The tackle combination of Stone Forsythe and Jordan Meredith, well, they're going to have a challenge today with Mr. Myles Garrett. By the way, the only other thing to maybe pay attention for this in the Browns season is probably Myles Garrett. Can he break the sack record? That's other than the quarterback spot. That's the one thing to probably stick.
Yeah, we care about. We got to we got to figure out the quarterback situation. Yeah. And he's right, the Garrett thing. That's about it. Yeah. That's it. That's all you got to look forward to. Yes. And what's going to stink is if Shedeur doesn't do well, then we're really going to be kind of down and out because we really want him to progress a little bit, right?
Well, I mean, again, Myles, 15 sacks, leading the league. Got a chance to break that record that's tied by Allen and Strahan of the 22.5. Yep. He's got the games to do it. So.
He can do it.
But like you said, Brent, he can go into some droughts. Remember,
he does.
What did he get, like a 3-game slump this year, too, Steve?
Sometimes, he doesn't.
What is behind that? That is so because we talked about the Texans game in 23.
Yeah.
How he just didn't show up. There are times And when he does show up, he's a monster.
Well,
what is going on?
You know, I remember
Maybe we expect too much.
You got to look at like the tackles maybe he's going up against how
matchups.
Yeah, maybe teams slide protection that way. You know, you'd have to go back and look at those individual games. I do know if you go back to that playoff game against Houston, I think he was up against Tunsil, who was actually a fairly solid tackle for the Texans, and they let him go. He's, I believe, with your buddy, Jaden Daniels in Washington now. It hasn't helped him to stay healthy, by the way.
Wow. That's another podcast for another day.
Yeah, that's another situation.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the deterioration of the Houston offensive line after they let him go. But you'd have to see the games and see how teams block Miles. But leading the league with 15 sacks, he's got a shot to break this record. Interesting, the Raiders' pass game, their leading receivers built around a tight end, kind of like ours has been. I think Brock Bowers is on his way to be one of the best tight ends in the NFL, if not really, towards the top of the list. He's gotten 55 total targets. He's caught 3 touchdown passes. I really think that as long as the Browns' offense can contain Bowers, limit the run game, I think there's a chance, especially if they get a pass rush on Geno, they might be able to force some turnovers in this one. That's the other. That's why I've got some confidence in this one.
I want to see some interceptions. Maybe Grant Delpit.
Denzel. Yeah, exactly. Just in conclusion, guys, this is the type of opponent the Browns would probably need to face with it being Shador's first start, I would say. That's where I was going with that earlier, Brent.
Yeah.
This should be the type of game where the Browns offense doesn't need to be super productive to win. I think that's another thing that I have to say, because this Raiders offense is pretty bad. As previously indicated, the Raiders offense will be facing greater challenges than those encountered maybe by the Browns. It'll be interesting to see how much the Raiders D gets after Shador. They blitz about 22.5% of the time, ranking 22nd overall in the NFL. It's a rookie quarterback. Do they choose to, run some blitzes at him? That's going to be something interesting to watch in this game.
Yeah.
It'll also be interesting to see the Tommy Rees offensive game plan. Just bottom line, I see a very low-scoring game here. I'm going to see some turnovers. I got the Browns pulling out an ugly nail-biter, 16-13.
All right, well said, Dave. All right, we're going to get into... Yeah, good job there, Dave. We're going to get into the game of the week.
Yep.
And we will start with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, I'm looking at the clock here. Oh, no, we're in November. We're just making sure. I mean, I was thinking...
To be fair...
all this good news for Steve. I thought we're in September, but I remember we're in November.
Not everybody can win 5 in a row.
I know. But this is Steve Retzer Day, and
yes.
I have
he's coming off a win.
A young female is about to give him a cocktail,
right.
and hey, give me. Wait a second, and Browns&Beyond, we're doing back massages too. They're gonna come up to him, give him. We have that kind of staff here. We got anyways. So
spare no expenses here at Browns.
We really Are we gonna make a profit this year, Dave? You think? I don't know. Anyways, so
we live in hope.
So Steve, we're gonna get right into it. Game of the week. Let's get back on the winning ways. And what do you have? Actually, that's right. You did win last week.
That's correct.
So,
that's right.
So we're looking for 2 in a row. They obviously didn't get. It's not going to be as good as Dave's 5 in a row. But only one.
One game at a time.
One game at a time. That's it. What do we got, Steve?
I got the Colts at the Chiefs. The Colts came off their bye, but previously had a win against the Falcons. Meanwhile, the Chiefs. Man, they lost a close one to the Broncos. I think it was 22-19. The Chiefs are in some trouble, but you guys know I like them.
Yeah. Your Super Bowl picks.
Your Super Bowl pick.
Correct. So I got to have them going, man. This week, 12, AFC Clash at Arrowhead Stadium is a must-listen because it's a collision of narratives. The 8-2 Colts, a team playing the best football in the league with the NFL's top-scoring offense, visiting a desperate but deeply talented 5-5 Kansas City Chiefs squad.
It's tough for me to find out what really has been the issues with the Chiefs this year. I mean, there's a few things. I thought they were going to hit their stride when they got healthy at receiver. When I took my easy
button. It was looking like
it. When I took my easy button game, I'm not going to go there.
It was Chiefs against the JV team. The local high school,
Here's Brent King trying to steal my thunder.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know,
thanks, Brent.
You know what?
That was the start of the 5-game stretch.
Yes, it was.
It was Shaq. It was Shaquille O'Neal going against a little kid. That's how big of an advantage. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, if he's going to walk on the court, he's going to get dunked on. So
all right. I don't want to knock you, man. I just keep it going.
But I will say this: I thought when they got healthy at wide receiver, got Xavier Worthy back, got Rashee Rice back. You know, Kelsey was playing fairly well. If you give Mahomes 3 fairly reliable targets, I thought this offense was really going to start to get rolling. It really hasn't. Now, they've run into some good teams on the schedule, though. So,
yeah, do you guys know that they have lost to, if you had to look at a playoff picture right now, they've lost almost all the seeds.
Yes.
So, like, this is a must win. I mean, they lost to Jacksonville, who would be seeded 7.
Yeah.
They've lost to Denver. I mean, I think there's one other one in there too. It's pretty crazy.
But they've never been blown out, have they?
No, I mean
it's been close games.
What's
they
happened?
play close.
Well, you know, Brent, what's happening is the opposite of what happened last year. Their season was built on a bunch of close wins, even though they had that dominant
15
season.
wins,
and in this year they're losing some of those.
Losing those close games.
In the past they would squeak by.
And
Yeah,
I don't
you're right.
necessarily think it's a decline in their roster. I actually think some teams in the division have just gotten better. This is a better Denver team than it was a year ago.
Yeah, you're right.
There are just some better teams in this division.
And Denver has the coach, and I was wrong about Peyton. He really has improved.
And say what you will about Nix, he makes plays when he needs to.
He does. He's a lot more clutch than...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see him putting up a big stat line.
No.
But he gets it done when he needs to, don't he?
Because
clutch.
their defense is going to keep teams under 20 points, and it's a matter of like in a 17-17
It's a
game.
well-balanced team, right? Right, Dave?
Exactly. I see Seattle and Denver basically in the same light. But yeah, I do think the Chiefs have some... this is a big win. I think they got to get this one, Steve. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they do. So the Colts, you know, they're coming off that bye and they're rolling behind MVP caliber running back Jonathan Taylor. So he poses the most potent threat the Chiefs will see all year. However, this is where the Chiefs' dynasty mind has to kick in, guys.
Yep.
With their backs against the wall and starting down the possibility of a losing record, there is no team you want more than the Chiefs to rise in the occasion. The Chiefs are in danger of missing the playoffs. Gosh, I hope not. And simply do not. But don't bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid when the season is on the line.
I will say this. If you take a look at our buddy Mr. Dimes, he's been a little bit shaky in the last 3 to 4 games.
Yeah.
It probably maybe started with that trip to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he lost to Pittsburgh.
Which was not good for him. And, you know, so he's had some shaky play the last few games. It'll be interesting to see against Spags and this defense how he looks.
Exactly. The Colts' entire identity revolves around their historic rushing attack led by Taylor, who's lapping the league in rushing yards and touchdowns. For the Chiefs to win, Dave just said it, defensive end Steve Spagnuolo must devise a scheme to stop Taylor and force quarterback Danny Dimes to win the game through the air. But here's why the Chiefs will prevail despite their recent struggles. The Chiefs' defense is still a top 5 unit in scoring and total yards allowed, guys.
So you see him containing the run in this one, Steve?
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. Most importantly, Patrick Mahomes, even on a down year, is still the single most dangerous player on the field. The Colts defense has been great at limiting the run, but they have played one of their easiest schedules to date and are missing defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, who is on injured reserve. The pressure is on the Chiefs offense to eliminate the critical errors and penalties that have doomed them, but if they get the kind of start they're known for, especially on their first drive of the second half, the volume and the pressure of Arrowhead will be too much for the Colts to handle. I'm picking Kansas City to win this game, guys.
Because you have to.
I kind of see upset alert on that. Really? I really do. I kind of see an upset. Yeah.
Do you think this is the end of the Chiefs? Or is this just like maybe a one-off off year kind of thing? Brent,
it is kind of, no. I don't. It's not the end of the dynasty. It's not. This is a one-off thing, and it's just things aren't going. The ball's not bouncing their way this year. It's just not. It's just. It's too bad. But the Colts are just. I mean, I remember watching that game with you at the bar a few weeks ago. The Colts,
I think this is the thing. I think if they limit the run with Taylor, I think that the quarterback, I just think Mahomes can win the quarterback matchup in this one.
I understand
and I
that.
think they can pull out a late win. This one's going to be close.
I got the Colts. I just do. But
Steve,
go
what's
ahead.
your bottom line?
Well, boys, this isn't just a football game. It's a referendum on their season. They've lost close games all year due to self-inflicted wounds, not a lack of talent.
Yes.
Their sheer talent disparity at the quarterback position, combined with the extreme pressure of their home crowd, willing to get them a victory, will be the difference. Mahomes, and don't forget about Travis Kelce, guys.
Okay, yeah.
They have too much pride to let this slump continue, and they're going to exploit a Colts secondary that, while they did get upgraded, they got Sauce Gardner and the return of Shavaris Ward Sr.
Yeah.
They haven't been tested yet, you know what I mean?
So,
at any rate, expect a back and forth battle where the Chiefs ultimately find that championship level execution in the fourth quarter to get the win in a high scoring affair. I have the Chiefs winning 27-24.
Okay.
Chiefs win, get their season back on track. Come on, guys, I need you in the playoffs.
there you go.
Yeah. I actually think it's the other way around. I got the Colts. I think it'd be like a 30-24, or maybe a field goal. I'm going to go with the Colts. Yeah, I just do. It's just their year.
You've had some doubts though about the Colts this season.
I have, but I've watched them in action. I've watched the last few games.
All right.
And I'll tell you what, I've seen enough. They are for real. They are, man.
The Colts. Okay.
Do you like the Sauce Gardner trade? I mean, that's going to help them come playoff time.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to help. I'll just tell you, I think Danny Dimes is for real. I mean,
well,
he is, man.
This is the strongest supporting cast he's ever had.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, granted, he got to play with Barkley there with the Giants, but when you look overall, offensive line, Taylor is no slouch at running back. Obviously, he's having an incredible year. Warren, the rookie tight end that they took out of Penn State's a really good player. I've always liked Michael Pittman, solid wide receiver. Yeah, I just think they put him in a really good offense. Steichen's actually a candidate. It's right there with your boy Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, for Coach of the Year.
So,
and this roster was underrated.
Yeah,
Ballard just needed a good quarterback.
Exactly.
That's where I'm going with it. What you just said is right.
By the way,
that roster was pretty well made.
Ballard is a very underrated GM there in Indianapolis. And by the way, there's roster construction that's done the other way, Steve. When you talk about roster construction, you need to find Haley's Comet. There's a team that built up the roster, then found the quarterback.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think both you guys make great points there. That team was loaded, and now they just plugged in the quarterback because Richardson was not getting it. I told you from the beginning he was a fraud.
Seattle,
I told you that, Steve, and you didn't. You loved Richardson.
Seattle was the same. Seattle was the same story, Brent. It was a built-up roster. Darnold just stepped in. It was an upgrade over
You're
Geno,
right.
and there you go.
God, that both of those are mirror images.
Yep.
But I told you about Richardson. I said he wasn't going to be any good, and that was your boy. You loved him.
Let him watch from the bench. I'm not giving up on him. He can sit there for 3 more years.
Yeah, well, yeah, but no, I do think though the Colts though, it's not like they're fluky. No, that team was well made. So, anyways, all right, we'll get into the next game of the week here. That'll be we'll turn to Mr. Dave Greenshield. Yep. Dave, is this going to be 6 in a row?
Hey, could be. I 5 in a row. Why not make it 6 in a row?
I think I could just see Dave at the bar doing this, like got the 6. You know, like Jordan hold his hands up. 6 championships. I could see Dave doing that and just kind of rub it in your face.
Winning, winning.
Dave, you're not going to do that. You're not. He doesn't like that.
I try not to rub it in, Brent. But all right, I got a good matchup this week. I'm going with the Eagles and the Cowboys. This is the rematch of the Week 1 when these teams met, and a really good one. The Eagles pulled out a 24-20 win in Philadelphia. The Dallas Cowboys' margin for error for the rest of the 2025 season is essentially non-existent, with a 4-5-1 record through 11 weeks. By the way, I took a look at this stat. The Sportsline model gives Dallas just a 5% chance to reach the postseason. So it's very slim and none, and Slim might be catching the train out of town if things don't go right in this one. Meaning the Cowboys have little wiggle room for likely just one more loss the rest of the year. The NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles are 8-2. The Eagles are still searching to, I think hit their stride offensively. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' pass game has not been great. Has not been really super sharp, though, particularly the last couple weeks. If you take a look at it, he completed 57% of his passes in that 10-7 Monday night win against the Packers for 183 yards. He then followed up with only a 50% completion percentage and only 135 yards against the Lions. So this is what we talked about with Philadelphia. Sometimes that passing game can disappear a little bit. You know, we saw it a little bit last year, but Saquon Barkley was able to kind of carry them through some of those tough stretches with the passing game. By the way, Hurts did not throw a pick in any of those games, and he's only thrown one this season, so he has done a great job of taking care.
It's not bad. I didn't realize that stat.
Yeah, he's done a great job of taking care of the football. The Eagles are still searching to find their way, to get their top playmakers. They've been struggling in comparison to the 2024 production. Steve, we mentioned that Saquon Barkley, I mean, to be fair, he was going to be hard-pressed to repeat maybe the best season I've ever seen a running back ever have. If you take a look at Saquon Barkley's regular season last year and his playoff Super Bowl run, it may be the most complete best season a running back ever had.
And he could have got the record, and then they sit him. Yeah. Then they sit him.
They sit him.
Yep.
Like Marshall Falk had a real good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He could have beat Dickerson's record.
Right.
And Dickerson was getting nervous.
He was upset about it, but Dickerson made a good point. He said he would have needed 17 weeks to do it. I did it 16 weeks.
Yeah, but the good news is it never happened.
Never happened. Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah. Again, he ran for over 2,000 yards a year ago. By the way, he's averaging nearly 60 yards fewer at 59.1 this season rushing yards per game. He had 120. He averaged 125.3 yards rushing last year, a game last year.
I just have to mention.
Yeah,
too,
go ahead, Steve.
That you guys are like, you think Derrick Henry's going to do better than Barkley? And I said, yes, I do. And guess what? As of right now, Henry has more yards than Barkley.
Yeah,
and pretty.
Right, and Henry's not as been. Although I would say Henry's not been necessarily as dominant as he's been.
Yeah, not dominant
in the past as well. He's but he's still a really good back for sure. And I think Barkley is too. I just think defenses are concentrating on stopping the run and forcing Hurts to make some throws down the field.
That's true. The Eagles really haven't formed an identity, which is strange. Like, sometimes they want to run, sometimes he's going to throw. It's strange. Like, they're not showing like a consistent. Not being consistent.
Yeah, I would say also Lane Johnson, you're missing at tackle. That's going to be interesting to see, one of the best offensive tackles in football, probably a future Hall of Famer. That could be a big loss for them as well. By the way, to just right now, Saquon Barkley averaging 66.2 yards rushing per game. He's down basically 60 yards from a year ago, is what I was trying to mention earlier. Pro Bowl wide receiver A.J. Brown's production's also down. He's averaging 30 fewer receiving yards per game. He averaged 83 yards per game in 24, only 50.8 in 2025. This could be the right defense to cure what is ailing the Eagles' offense. The Dallas pass defense is ranked 30th overall, and its overall defense is also ranked 30th. Despite the Dallas defense struggling for most of 2025, allowing the second most points at 29.3 per game, the Cowboys have found some swagger on that side of the ball, thanks to the trade deadline acquisitions of all-pro defensive tackle Quinn Williams from the Jets, who's kind of given them an infusion on that defensive line. Veteran linebacker Logan Wilson returns to health, and explosive linebacker Demarion Overshone, and third-round pick cornerback Siobhan Revell. So they've upgraded at linebacker, D-line, and corner. So, from a talent standpoint, I think they've upgraded some positions. The Cowboys surrendered a season-low in .16 and had a season-high 5 sacks in their Monday night win, although I know it was against the Raiders. On the other side of the ball, the Dallas offense and Dakota Rain Prescott will face some real challenges against this hot Philly defense. It does appear Dak was playing some great football early in the season. I even had some MVP talk with Dak. He did hit a couple of speed bumps. He faced that really good Denver defense. He threw 2 picks in that one. He followed that up against Arizona with his lowest QBR of the season at 34.6. He did rebound again. It was the Raiders, but he went 25 of 33 on the Monday night for 268 and 4 touchdown passes. Philadelphia blitzes at the 8th lowest rate in the NFL at 22.5% of the time. But they also have the 8th highest pressure rate at 39.7. That interior combo of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis is really, really good, by the way, on that D-line. Remember, Jalen Carter missed that first game. That was the first spitting incident of the season, Steve.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Jamar Chase followed it up last week with
I know, I can't believe we have this.
with the saliva coming out. Yeah. The first meeting against Philadelphia may have been as close as it was because of the absence of Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jalen Cardle. I would add they're both healthy and together right now. Dallas, on their side of the ball, by the way, features one of the best 1-2 punches at wide receiver, and that's George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. We talk about the really good 1-2 punches, Steve. We always talk about Higgins and Chase with the Bengals. I like Puka and Devontae Adams with the Rams. Pickens and Lamb are really good, by the way, Steve. Go ahead.
Dave, I think I like these two better than all the other combos.
Oh, really?
I'm just going to say, George Pickens has really revived his career, and Dak's getting him the ball. Pickens is almost looking like a number 1. I know he's like a number 2, so he should get open because of Lamb. But man, Pickens.
So to be
might
fair,
be taking over that number 1 receiver.
Well, I'm going to make a point on that. So this has got Steve's vote as the best 1-2 punch in the NFL.
I like him.
Wide receiver.
I like him.
Okay. Pickens has 58 catches for 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. This will be really challenging for the Eagles' corners of Mitchell and DeJean. I would add the Cowboys have gotten a solid year out of Javonte Williams at running back, over 800 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry. This will be an interesting matchup with the Dallas offense versus Vic Fangio-coordinated Philly defense. Just in conclusion, this was a good one the first time these two teams met, and I'm expecting another really good one. I'm a firm believer that both defenses are better. Philly with getting back Carter, as I mentioned, and the Cowboys due to the moves that they made, at the trade deadline to improve that D-line particularly. I'm starting to wonder if Hurts is hitting a little bit of a slump. He needs to find a way to get the ball down the field to his wide receivers, some of those down-the-field shots to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They're going to have to win some one-on-ones in this game. Still confident Dak is playing really good football. Call me crazy. I'm going with the home team here to keep their very, very slim playoff hopes alive. I've got Dallas pulling this out, 24-21. Trying to keep the winning.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
You're pulling a Steve Rapser.
No, both you guys.
Don't get cute.
Hey.
I took Tampa over Philly.
I did.
Oh, get this. Oh, you're doing what I did.
I
took Tampa over Philly. I got cute a little bit.
Got cute.
And Philly won. But hey, I wish you luck, though.
Dude, Brett
I don't like both you guys. Game of the week, so I'm against you on both. I got the similar scores, but I got the other team winning. I got Philly winning that one.
Okay.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
But no, I get it, And we're going to get to my game of the week, and, the Rams and the Bucks, and here we go. This is going to be a matchup,
You're liking that Rams team.
That Rams, I'm on the Rams now, you know. So
that's his new team.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Well, I'm not a fair weather fan, so,
Washington's out, Rams in.
Okay. Hey, guys, we're moving on. Anyways. I'm the moderator. Be nice to me. Okay. Anyways, all right. Okay. Tonight on Sunday Night Football, we have a major NFC battle as the red-hot Los Angeles Rams riding a 5-game win streak with MVP favorite Matthew Stafford host the first-place Tampa Bay Bucks, who are desperate to snap a 2-game skid. You hear that, Steve? Your Tampa Bay is a little desperate.
Well, Carolina's been playing a little bit better football. I think that I don't know if they're Steve. I agree with you. I still think Tampa's the better of the two teams in that division.
Yeah,
but Tampa needs to get healthy.
These guys, Bucky Irving out again. Like, come on, man! Can the guy come back and play?
I know.
They could win games if they could get him.
Or even get one of the two, Godwin or Evans, back at wide receiver.
Godwin is back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This matchup pits the Rams' elite offense against a vulnerable Bucs secondary in what is guaranteed to be a high-scoring track meet, with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay attack needing to go shot for shot with LA's star-studded receiving core. While the Rams are the heavy favorite, our prediction is for a nail-biting 34-31 finish, and I got the LA Rams pulling that one out, meaning we're calling for a true shootout, where the LA offense finally pulls out a victory late in the fourth quarter to keep the dominant run going. Sorry, Steve, but I will say this, because, LA's got a good defense.
Yes,
they do. But anytime, I've been watching Tampa Bay games for years now with the Baker Mayfield, and, every game that he plays in is a high scoring affair. It just is.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be another one.
He keeps them in the games.
Yeah, he does. He does, and with not a very strong supporting cast, it's going to be interesting to see. This Rams team has a very good pass rush. I'm also interested to see Stafford. Was a little bit off last week. He faced a great Seattle defense.
He did.
I think he'll bounce back this week.
Agree.
I actually could see the Rams maybe pulling away in this one, and maybe not as close a score as you do, Brent,
sure.
But
I'm going off track record. And Baker Mayfield, even the game against Buffalo, didn't they? That was a close game until the end. And then they lose by 10.
You know what we need? Baker's performing.
Yes.
Even with these guys injured.
Yes.
Tampa Bay defense, wake up, man.
Yes.
Play tough.
I know.
Get a win.
But Steve, it's been like that for years, though. It's not just this year. Even last year, the Tampa Bay defense.
It's solid. This is a defense that's been, I think, a little bit slow decline since the Super Bowl team. When they had Devin White and they had the two good edge rushers, Barrett and Pierre-Paul were really good that year.
Yeah.
So they and they really wreaked havoc in that Super Bowl against Mahomes. Although Mahomes was playing with backup tackles, I think in that Super Bowl in the COVID year. But if you take a look at it. It's a solid defense. It's not a great defense. And Todd Bowles is a good defensive mind. But, yeah, it's almost on Baker in the offense. And it's an offense where he doesn't have all his weapons. I think it's a tough matchup because I think this is a game where Stafford could really get back on track. And Adams and Puka and those guys could really start to cook in this one. So Baker better be prepared to put some points on the board.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get to the last segment there, and that's the bold predictions. And both you guys...
Yeah.
Did you guys win last week on bold predictions? Oh, that's right. It was a loss for both, right, Steve? You lost too?
I did.
Okay.
You can't win them all, Brand.
I know. I'm hoping you guys, listen, I'm hoping this is the week you turn it around. I see both you guys winning this week. I just got a feeling.
Are you buying this guy's rooting for us, Steve? I'm not buying.
Hey, what do I always say? I care about you.
I really do.
All right, we're going to get to Mr. Dave Greenfield.
Yes, sir.
Dave, give us your bold prediction for this week.
Okay, I'm going to go with C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey. I think he's facing his old team. I think he has over 200 yards in total offense. Now, again, that's combined rushing and receiving. He's been awesome in 2025. Over 1,400 total yards, 11 touchdowns, to go with an absurd 74 receptions through his first 11 games, which is just crazy production, catching the ball out of the backfield. Really, it hasn't mattered who the quarterback has been. Your buddy Purdy's been out.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, whoever the quarterback's been, he's still been really productive in this offense. The Carolina defense, I would say, has improved. 15th overall, 16th against the run. Again, he's been a mainstay in this offense no matter who the quarterback is. I think he's going to be inspired going against his old team. I expect him to catch some of those passes out of the backfield in this one. I've going out with 200 total yards in offense. Rushing, receiving, big day for C-Mac.
All right, Dave, I like that.
Okay.
Mr. Steve Rutzer, Steve, kind of wrap us up. Give us your bold prediction.
All right, guys, I got the Eagles at Dallas. I know that's Dave's game, but I have a bold prediction, and my bold prediction is that the Eagles running back, Saquon Barkley, will finally get over 100 yards rushing and score a touchdown.
Okay.
And get a win on the road in Dallas.
Now, we got to hold you to both of those, Steve, to get the bold P right?
Yeah, let's go 100 yards and at least one touchdown.
Okay, he's got to get both right, Brett, for that one to count as a victory.
Rushing touchdown or any touchdown?
Let's go with rushing.
Let's go with rushing.
One touchdown and 100 yards.
Yep.
That's a good bull P. I like it.
I mean, Dallas has a weak run defense. If Barkley gets the yards, it'd only be the second time he's had 100-yard games. So that's how it can be a bull P.
Yeah, sure, because it's not something that happens every. It's not like last year where it was commonplace for him to probably get some of that. Yeah.
Much different year compared to last season. But yeah, go Eagles and go Barkley.
All right, well said. All right, guys, before we kind of wrap things up, I'm going to go ahead and get into my prediction of the Browns game like I do at the end of every segment.
Your thoughts.
I look at things a little differently than you guys do. On paper, the Cleveland Browns should win this game. By hands down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at things that way. It's not a perfect world. It's in Vegas, West Coast.
Okay.
I've been looking at all these games throughout all these years, last 2 or 3 seasons, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Rams.
Okay.
Every West Coast trip, it's just...
Brent,
I don't know.
Buying that partying thing out there?
The party. Yeah, they're going to the Bunny Ranch, and they're not leaving the Bunny Ranch.
Hey,
What would you know about such things?
Well, like I said, I live a good Christian life. I'm just going off what my cousin told me. My buddy, my one cousin,
Oh, little birdie.
little Bernie told me. He said there's a bunny ranch out there, and I don't know. What do you got? Good. Yeah.
Shador played his college football in Colorado. That's going west. I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunately football is a team sport, so the rest of the guys are hanging out the bunny ranch, and they're going to get to the game late. And we're probably going to see guys stumbling in around third quarter. Hey, I'm here, guys. And, oh man, so I'll tell you what. I think the bugaboo is going to continue. They're just not going to do well, and I see a rout. I got the Raiders winning this one, 27-13.
Rough day for Shador.
And he's gonna do okay because they're gonna keep it conservative.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna be lighting it up, and they're gonna be running Mr. Judkins. But I can see maybe a turnover. But
I was gonna say, do you see a turnover too?
one or two picks.
Okay.
I'll just and I don't think the Shador thing is really going to be the reason why they lose, though. I just think that the Raiders Geno's going to wake up today. He's just going to wake up and start kicking butt, and the Browns defense aren't good. It's just the West Coast bugaboo. Guys, the Browns should win on paper, though. They really should.
I just don't see this Raiders offense producing that many points. I mean, unless they get turnover.
I remember watching.
I don't see the Raiders getting 27 points unless the Browns give them some turnover.
And I know
special teams.
You brought this up in your segment earlier. In the game, the Raiders played the Browns. That game was in Vegas last year, correct?
It was.
So, and it was the same thing with that game. I'm like, what? How are they winning?
Right.
Steve, I remember talking to you. How the heck are they winning?
I'm trying to think. That, I think, was like a 16-10, or it was like a 6-point game.
But the Raiders just got things their way. They got a lot of luck their way. And I'm like, okay. I feel like it's going to be more of the same. All right. And I just, here's what I hope about the Shador thing. I don't want him to stink. Though, and here's why. Because I think they're going to yank him. Okay. If he stinks, they're going to put Dylan in for next week. Okay. And I don't want that to happen. I want Shador to keep playing. I want to see Shador for the rest of the season.
All right.
So that's kind of what I think, guys. I think it's unfortunate, but I think the West Coast bugaboo is going to bite them, and the Raiders are going to pull that out. Guys, let's get into some final thoughts.
I can see where you're coming from on your prediction, Brent. I can. I just think that this Raiders offense is pretty pathetic. Mm-hmm. I think we can contain the run, put this in Geno's hands. I think this is a game where you could see like both teams combining for 4 turnovers and it getting sloppy. I'm interested to see what Shador can do in this one, pardon me, and then more interested to see how the offensive game plan adjusts to his skill set, Steve.
Yeah, guys, I feel like it's my day. I've been waiting for this. Big Shador day. I like Dave just said, I could see some turnovers on both sides, but this is my day.
It is your day.
Go Browns, baby.
Okay.
What if people want to call you about 4:15 today? Could they? You going to be available to talk?
I'm going to forward all calls.
Going to have his do not disturb on.
There you go.
Yeah, 4:05 is actually when the game starts today. It's not a 4:25 start. So, guys, we had a good one here. Have a good one, guys. Take care.